Time tonight, we are hearing from Jamee Johnson's family, telling First Coast News he did not deserve to die in what they are calling an execution-style shooting. Johnson was shot and killed after being stopped last December for a seatbelt violation. The state attorney's office ruled that shooting justified. We showed you the video earlier this week. On your side's Robert Bradfield is joining us live tonight with more on the family's reaction to what that video shows. Robert.
Well, and Jamee Johnson's family says they dispute the findings released earlier this week, and they say the video proves this shooting was not justified. They say Johnson was shot and killed as he was stepping out of his vehicle with his hands up after an altercation with a JSO officer. The family also today said there's been misleading and inconsistent statements made by the officer who specifically shot and killed Jamee Johnson. Now, a gun was found in Johnson's vehicle, but the family and their attorney says Johnson did not have a gun in his hand when he was specifically shot. Harry Daniels, the family's attorney, says he will file a federal lawsuit soon, but did not say what may be included in it. Also today, Harvey Johnson, which is Jamee's father, spoke about the loss of his son and was asked why he still will continue to fight for him. Listen.
Even though he made bad decisions that day, that's not grounds for an execution. So we will keep fighting for him until the end.
Now, I also did ask Attorney Daniels this afternoon if he would like to see those involved in Johnson's death specifically arrested and charged, and he said yes, because again, it was his belief that the officer's actions here were not justified. Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, I will be taking a closer look specifically at the evidence the family says they have that proves that the officer's actions, again, were not justified. Live in Jacksonville tonight, Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side.